What is going on, Internet? My name is Raymond, and today I have something new in store for everybody, as I will be starting sort of rebuilds in Madden franchise mode. For my first one, I decided to do the Patriots, and a year after Tom Brady retires, which is going to be this year in 2018. Not really in real life, but we'll see what happens. This is how it goes in the game. So, as you can see, I'm setting up my franchise right now, and yeah, so we'll see. I wanted to do this because it seemed pretty interesting, and the Patriots have a solid roster. So we'll see if we can make a Super Bowl run even without Brady. Yeah, so I simmed straight to the offseason to get over the 2018 season because nobody wants to sit through that. Alright, so we had free agency contracts to negotiate. I didn't see a whole lot of point in signing Trey Flowers because sure, he's a good end, but I mean you can get more for your money in this game, and really, I like to play offense. I simulate the defense, so I didn't see a point in signing all these defensive studs whenever I wouldn't have anybody on offense to use. Jeremy Hill's definitely not coming back. Cordell Patterson won't either. I tried to get Chris Hogan, but he was not interested in signing with the squad, so he's going into free agency as well. As you can see, even though I said I wasn't going to, but I actually made an offer to Trey Flowers, but if I remember correctly, he didn't like this offer, so he ended up walking at the end of the day. Yeah, because I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money, and then we won't have anybody big names to sign in free agency. So yeah, he gave us the big old no right there. And I tried to negotiate with our left tackle, I believe, because even though Brady's not back there, we're going to need some help on the line. Yeah, our coach got his contract extended, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully we don't get fired after this year. Yeah, as you can see, Brady retires at the end of the year. So yeah, Brian Hoyer at quarterback is quite a drop off from Tom Brady. So we'll see. A lot of people think Gronkowski is going to retire at the end of this year in real life, but in the game he doesn't. So we'll keep it pushing. Le'Veon was here in free agency, but I didn't see a point in signing him. I didn't sign Shazier because I wanted to keep it realistic. My goal here was to go after some corners because that's the biggest need for the Patriots right now. But yeah, I didn't go after any running backs because we have James White and we have, I believe, Sony Michel. That's right. So yeah, I gave some offers to Drake Kirkpatrick here. I also went through and offered, I think I tried Norman. I don't think I got him though at the end. I did offer Chris Long because he's a cheaper alternative at left end because we lost Trey Flowers. And Chris Long is a former Patriot, so I figured why not. Nice cheap option there. I offered Terrence Mitchell as well because he's a solid corner for not a big old giant price tag. My one unrealistic thing that I was going for in this franchise was to steer Josh Gordon on the right track because was one of my favorite players as a kid growing up. So I want to steer him on his right path as opposed to in real life. Unfortunately, he is on some suspension right now, but we're not going to get into that, and we'll just try to keep him on the field in the game and try to get him a career year, sort of like in 2012 or 13, I believe it was, in Cleveland. I was looking here because we lost Hogan in free agency, so I was looking for a kind of a bigger target so I could have Gordon a bigger target and Edelman in the middle, because Edelman's getting up there in age, so we're only going to have a couple years of him left. Looking back on it, I probably should have offered Higgins, but instead I went for Allen Hurns because he's a big body on the outside, pairs well with Josh Gordon, and he's a big target, able to hit on those C routes and on those deep fades in the end zone. Yeah, I offered him here a fairly decent deal, especially for a guy that's just looking to land somewhere for a couple of years. I didn't want to give him too hefty of an offer, though, because I was worried about him. I was worried about him not fitting well in with the scheme that I run, but I did offer him a three-year deal, so we'll see how that goes. I was looking for backups to Gronk because Gronk is 30 now, going into the 2019 season. I was also looking for offensive line replacements because we have a couple decent 80s in there, but then we also have some 75s on the tackles, and that's not real conducive to making a deep playoff run. As you can see, Trey Flowers is in free agency. I was also looking at linebacker because our linebackers are a little shallow. If you ever played play now in head-to-head with the Patriots, you'll notice that the linebackers are certainly lacking for sure. There's not a lot of big names in here, but I ended up offering Shane Ray, I believe. I did not. Okay. Like I said, I wasn't gonna offer up Shazier. He's a nice addition, but I also need to make it realistic, and Shazier's not in football right now. So I believe I went with Brandon Marshall. He's same overall as Bentley, but he's a solid former star player. He used to be a big name in Denver, so he's got a nice quick development trait. So I gave him an offer. Back here, I was looking at a little bit into the corners because I did offer Drake Kirkpatrick and Terrence Mitchell, but I also was looking for another big name to solidify that secondary. I believe it was Janoris Jenkins here. I don't think Josh Norman wanted to land in New England, so I think I did go after Janoris Jenkins here. Okay, so yeah, this is where I offer Terrence Mitchell a contract that hopefully he'll be able to accept. Josh Norman's not a good fit for our scheme here in New England. I wanted Amos Jr. for sure, but he's a little hefty in the free agency department, and I don't want to spend all my money in one spot. So now we're going to advance weeks and see if we got any signs yet. I also wanted to import my own draft class so we could have a realistic draft and hopefully draft for the future in New England and keep these playoff streaks alive. For my draft classes, I usually just go with the top one, Stayplation 82. Yeah, I usually just use that one. It's pretty solid for me. here and there you'll miss some players, but there's certainly a lot to choose from. So, not too worried about that. The only problem if you do use that file is you're going to have to go through and edit the players for aesthetics. So, like if you have a Revo Speed helmet, they might have like a regular, just like a 3-bar face mask. So you might have to go through and change that if you're doing this yourself. But other than that, you should be good. All right, now we went into scouting our prospects for the upcoming draft, and for sure, quarterback is a big thing for New England because we did lose Brady in the offseason, as I said. I was looking a little bit at Trace McSorley, maybe. I was looking at Kelly Bryant is a little too wild for, I feel like, New England's scheme. So I did settle on, I didn't settle, but I did look at Will Grier because he's a nice pocket presence, but is able to get outside the pocket. He's a solid quarterback that we could build a future on. He's got nice talent, nice development trait. I also looked at Drew Lock in case that Will Grier gets taken. Drew Lock is a first-round talent, so he might get taken too early. Justin Herbert is likely to be a first overall pick in this upcoming draft in real life, so I scouted him, but I didn't think too much about it. If we get him, cool. If not, I'm not going to stress over it. And then we looked at some receivers to replace Chris Hogan. I did look at Marquise Brown, Antonio Brown's cousin, I believe he is. And now I was just scrolling down this list, and I was looking, and there's not a whole lot of talent, in my opinion, in this draft class. You got a couple big names, but other than that, there's not too much there. So I think I did end up scouting Deebo Samuel. He's a nice, not a big guy out there. 6'2", 212, I think he is, but 210. He'll get the job done out there for sure. Now I was looking at tight ends to back Gronk up whenever he decides to hang up the cleats, and Noah Fant is a nice addition there. I don't know if we're gonna get him because there's many teams out there that probably need a tight end more than I do. And I was looking at right ends in case Chris Long didn't sign with me. And then obviously linebacker because you need to strengthen that up a little bit. And we did scout Josh Allen for sure. He's a nice, solid outside linebacker. Devin White, we scouted him as well for the middle. And then on the outside to the right, I didn't pick anybody up yet, but I did also look at the corners and Damon Arnett. Very, very solid, talented corner out of Ohio State. Should be able to make plays right off the bat. And of course, Chris Long accepts the contract. Alan Hearns, Terrence Mitchell, Dre Kirkpatrick, and Brandon Marshall rejects our contract, but everybody else signs. So that's pretty solid. And now we just need to fill that hole up at middle linebacker. And quarterback, obviously. I did think about picking up Mark Barron here, maybe Manti Te'o, but none of those guys are real solid, so I decided to just stick it out and try to pick one up in the draft a little bit later on. So now we're going to advance to stage 3 of the offseason for sure. And we did have an upgrade for Jason McCourty, so I went and got that done. I like to go man-to-man because one-on-one situations, you need to be able to make that play out there. So that's why I upgraded that. There you can see Alan Hearns is now part of the receiving core. Matthew Slater came back. I believe his name's Matthew. I'm not sure. Gronk and Dwayne Allen in the tight end spots. And Josh Gordon out there is an 85 to start the year. As you can see, we have a little bit of a hole in the middle linebacker 1 and 2 spots. Left outside is a little shady. We do have Dante Hightower in right, so that's not a real big issue. We do have the McCourty twins on the left side of the secondary. Patrick Chung at strong safety. Don't need to worry about him. And we also have Sonny Michel running back kicks and Edelman running back the punt so far. I'm open to doing this sort of format for any team you want. Let me know if you want me to do a series for any of your teams. So yeah, I'm open to anybody, open to any kind of roster challenges. I'll even do the Raiders if you want. I might have to start Peterman though, just for memories. Right here, I'm also getting rid of a couple of people that I obviously won't use and are really just extra money thrown out the window that we don't need. Like Riley McCarron, we have no penalty for cutting him, so might as well do it. Sorry, Riley, if you're watching this in real life. I doubt it, though, so. Good thing is most of our team has a upbeat confidence, so a lot of our guys are playing up a little bit. Now we're doing a little bit more scouting. Nick Bosa, obviously, a big run stopper. That'd be a nice addition and complete that offensive or defensive line. We're going a little bit more into the linebackers. Basically just scouting as many top prospects as possible. And I apologize, this first video is going to be a little bit boring with the fact that it's basically just scouting players, cutting players, and drafting. But I promise that this series will pick up. So if you don't want to watch the preparation parts of it, you can skip. I'll probably put these videos in a playlist, so you'll have week 1 through 16, the playoffs, all that will be there. I already have the first game recorded, so that'll go up probably when this does. So yeah, it'll be interesting, and I'll play offense because a lot of people like to see scoring and not as much defense. So that's probably what I'll do, unless I have a request for defense. Then obviously I'll do it. But yeah, and so now I'm just looking at the last kind of free agent offers that are kind of floating around before the season starts. I'm pretty happy with what we did so far with the free agents. We solidified the defensive line a little bit. We got a nice receiver in there that'll make plays. And we solidified the secondary, which is a big concern. As you can see, Bell and Flowers are both signed. Amos signed with the Dolphins, and Verrett signed with the Bucks. And if these is one of your favorite players, you can pause and see where they signed if you care. If not, just follow along with me. I did think it was kind of interesting that Marshawn Lynch did go back to Buffalo, so that's kind of like a wrap-up for him at the end of his career. Jamison Crowder stayed with the Redskins. Did find it interesting that Cole Beasley did go to New York. And I did speed this up a little bit because nobody needs to sit through this. Alright, so now we have the big option of the draft up next. So if you're excited,